Hello everybody and welcome back to the Eternal Sonata playthrough. It is time to finish off our trip up the Xylophone Tower of the Shining Keys. So named because of the shining keys that appear whenever we step on the damn things. You can probably tell at this point why it's driven me slightly balmy, that noise, because it's just like ding 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 ding. As you step up, it's just like no, this is getting in the way of my beautiful music. Please don't do that. It's just a bit of a pain. Now, I suppose whilst we're here, I feel I should point out that once we beat this dungeon, we will be automatically transported outside of the town. However, if you were doing an on-call mode playthrough, you will remain exactly where you are, right at the top of the tower. But if you have completed the trading quests, side quests, which does actually last you across 2 playthroughs, then you can unlock a door at the top of the tower, and you can get the Lion's Chime, which is an accessory which is very valuable apparently, and at that point you will then be transported out, but you need to complete the trading quest. So since we've got a bit more of this to go, I might as well take you through all the places on that trading quest, because it's nice to just have the full trading sequence. I just need to get up something that actually tells me the frickin' trading sequence. And the internet is not liking me. But basically, if you, well, once you have completed Ari Temple and you have,
Pleased to meet you.
right, so you complete your first playthrough.
Are you catching on yet?
And basically, to do that, obviously you just complete the trading quest as you would do normally, following everything that I've done in this playthrough. And then in your second playthrough, once you fight Rondo for the first time at the end of Chapter 5, you will get the Heart Pendant, and soon gain access to the teleporter in Baroque City. If you return from the teleporter and talk to the man in the cave at the beach, then you get a little something. Then you head to Baroque and talk to the former servant in the East Alley of town. Then, once you talk to them both, head back to Fort Fermata and use the key that you get earlier in the game to open the locked door on the west of the first section. Give the man inside the Heart Pendant, and yeah, you just got to make sure that it's not equipped on anyone or it won't talk to you. That will net you an achievement or trophy. And then once you've done that, you can continue on with the trading quest, and this will allow you to get Xylophone's treasure, achievement or trophy. So you get the Heart Pendant, and, well no, so you give the Heart Pendant and get a pot back in Fort Fermata by trading that with a gentleman called Cord. Then you go back to Tenuto Village and go to, I think it's the East House, and trade the pot for goat stew. Go to the Chorus Plains and trade with the goat herder, the goat stew for the coupon. Then you go to the Hannon Hills, trade with the merchant, the coupon for the honey. Then when you get to Baroque Castle, trade with the researcher, the honey, who sends you to get the go-go droppings. Then in Agogo Village, speak to a boy, and he will ask you for 20 photos of 20 different beasts for the Agogo droppings, so I would recommend in your second playthrough making sure you take a picture of every different enemy as you play through the game, so then you can just get rid of all of that in one go. You go back to Baroque Castle to that researcher, trade the Agogo droppings for the odd candy. Then you go back to the Hannon Hills, trade the odd candy for the glass ball with a merchant. Back in Baroque City, you take the glass ball to the Aria Temple. And in the final room of the Aria Temple, you trade the glass ball for an orb. You bring that orb to the top of the Xylophone Tower, and that will allow you to open the door on the back wall, and that will allow you to get the Lion's Charm. So it's slightly tedious to do, but I would say that, well, I don't know if it's worth it or not, but hey, you get 2 achievements out of doing that trading quest, and annoyingly, Eternal Sonata is strangely stingy with its achievements, because so there are 22 achievements with a total of 1,000 points. Completing all of the chapters nets you 10 points each, so that would be bronze trophy, I think. You also get trophies or achievements for unlocking party levels, but there's very little actually there. You yeah, and basically, so you get very, very few achievements on your first run of the game. You can get extra ones for doing what I'm going to do in this run-through, for accessing the optional dungeon, getting to party level 6, and completing said dungeon and then beating the game, which gets you up a bit further, but there's a whole bunch, well, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 achievements which account for like 600 game score, which is ridiculous. But basically, the gist for that, to get those, is complete soul released, so begin that second trading quest, finish the second trading quest, beat all of the fights with Dolce. It's only available in your second playthrough, so you've got to do the fight in the Woodblock Grove, and all the other 3. You've got to collect all of the score pieces in the game, which can only be done in your second playthrough, which is a nightmare. But there we go. And then the last one, which is the one that's the highest achievement ranking one, you've got to collect all the items related to the Great Ezzy. But you can't get them all until you have most of the score pieces anyway, because the majority of the items are gotten via playing score pieces with particular people. So, that's always a delight.
Dust on the ground.
I'll tell you now, at some point in my life, I will replay through Eternal Sonata again on Encore mode and get all those things, because I really want to see that bit of the game through to its conclusion. Because my plan for Eternal Sonata, before I actually, recorded it, was always going to be, I'm going to complete the optional dungeon on my personal save file, be really proud of myself, and then I am going to do an Encore mode playthrough, so that I could show off all those other extra bits that you only see in your second playthrough. But because I'd left the game for such a long time, I was very uncomfortable with the battle system, because once you get into that optional dungeon and activate party level 6, it changes up in a way that becomes slightly less intuitive than it has been to this point. It requires you to be very, very, very used to the battle system, and obviously because I hadn't touched it in the longest time, I just wasn't any good. I didn't know what I was doing, it just felt wrong. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to record it from the beginning of a first playthrough and complete everything that I can possibly complete on that playthrough, and then I will be happy, because there is only so much that you can do. You can try and complete a game for playthrough, and I always like to do that, but there are some times when the time effort involved, it just isn't feasible. Well, it just isn't feasible when you've got other commitments in your life. I feel that's something that I keep coming back to a lot, is there's never enough time in the world to do everything you want, ever, because time is short, and ultimately you need to prioritise what is most important to you. And obviously, at the end of the day, I love YouTube, but it is just a hobby, so I have to put my attention into my actual job, and that takes up a lot of time. So it's basically evenings and weekends when my gaming chances appear, and even then those are few and far between, because then I've got to do commentary and all sorts of jazz. So yeah, well, obviously I wish I could have done an Encore mode playthrough for you guys. I'm happy with the way that it's worked out in the end, because I've still gotten to show off a ridiculous amount of Eternal Sonata, and it's nice to give this game a little bit of love, because I feel like it's one of those really niche ones that people might have heard of in some form or another, but never looked into, and actually it's a game that is really fascinating and really quite awesome, and also just really enjoyable. And as I've always said, I like getting the chance to show off games that have had, well, won't say what I was about to say, but I like showing off games that I really enjoy, even if you haven't necessarily already seen it. And it's just always so much fun. But either way, it's time to head up to the final level. I should probably heal up. Would probably be a smart move at this point in time, because we're about to get a boss fight. And yeah, I'm gonna go in with my dream team of Allegretto, Jazz and Viola. Because they really are my dream team. And I suspect that they're potentially your dream team as well. I mean, you might have Frederick in there instead of Viola or Allegretto. But either way, here we go. Look at these recolours, eh? Yeah, it's probably one of my issues with
Well, are you ready or what? Let's get started.
the final dungeons of Eternal Sonata, is that there are a lot of recolour bosses, some of which are thrown into unique situations like this one where you're fighting what was Trick or Treat and the Ogre Champ at the same time. So this is a different situation to how we first fought both of them, which makes it more challenging. But at the end of the day, they are merely recolours, and very obviously recolours, and I do just find that slightly disappointing, because you could have done some really fun stuff with the boss of the Xylophone Tower of the Shining Keys, and it just isn't here. Which, yeah, I just find to be a shame, I suppose. Now, I believe in this fight you definitely want to beat up the Wicked Shrub first, because I believe that the Wicked Shrub has the ability to heal, I think? I'm not 100% sure about that factoid, but for some reason I feel like it is the case. It could also be that the Wicked Shrub has quite a few moves which affect all the area around him, so he can potentially be the most dangerous in a way. Whereas with the Ogre King, you can triangle him, and while he may attack one person, he may not be able to hit the others, and obviously that is an absolute godsend. That said, the Ogre King can pack quite a big punch, but by this point you should just be able to manage it. These later boss fights can be a challenge, but hopefully by this time you've leveled up enough and you've mastered the battle system to the point where refighting these old bosses just with more health and more damage output and a different coat of paint shouldn't be too much of a pain. I mean, as you can see, I am having to heal up quite a lot in this fight, so it's not going as brilliantly smoothly as it could have been. But once again, it could be a lot worse, because, you know, I could actually be failing entirely, and that's not happening, so that's good. And thank God that's the end of the Wicked Shrub. So, now it's just a case of getting on the Ogre King. And really, with the triangle tactic, he ain't gonna stand much of a chance. Also because, you know, we are fighting him in darkness, that's nice. Probably shouldn't have necessarily used Viola to launch that, because we don't necessarily need the Night Arrowing. And it's a bit annoying because Night Arrow doesn't actually heal Viola, so it's not necessarily the best of moves, but it's nice to be able to have light healing and night healing, so there's a level of flexibility, so to speak, in Viola's healing abilities right now, which I'm pretty sure none of the other characters have, so definitely thank God for her. But I think one more round and the Ogre King should be defeated. And this should, once we've passed whatever the switch is, this should break that barrier in the Noise Dunes of Fantasy. And then we'll be able to get to our final boss fight. Well, our final dungeon, which will eventually lead to our final boss fight, but obviously
Did I make your eye spin?
we've got a little while to go before then. No, not another bloody round. I thought I was okay, but evidently not. Well, thank God that's over, eh? But we did get quite a few new nice things. Quite a few new lovely level ups.
The battle isn't over yet.
And yeah, let's turn off that barrier
It's time to upgrade.
and head on down into the Noise Dunes of Fantasy proper in order to, eventually reach our final dungeon. We're very nearly there.